Good morning, viewers. Welcome back to our channel. I am Raju Upadhyay from CIMAGE College, Patna, Department of IT. Today, I'll be having a lecture on identifying the various types of JDBC driver as a series of JDBC. Right? So, let's start. While developing JDBC application, we need to use the JDBC driver to convert queries into a form that a particular database can understand. As we know, our database cannot understand the request which has been sent by the Java application because Java is having a different architecture, different way of writing the SQL statement. So the statement of Java cannot be interpreted by the database. So in order to make it proper communication between the Java and database, right, we require the JDBC driver. Basically, this JDBC driver is going to help to interpret or translate the Java request into a form that database can understand. So JDBC driver also retrieve the result of SQL statement and convert the result into the equivalent JDBC API class, right, class object that Java application uses. That means, take example, if you're sending a request from the Java application to list down the records from a table. So obviously for that, you are going to write the select statement. And that select statement has to be embedded as a part of Java statement. So that cannot be understood by the database. So request will go to the JDBC driver. JDBC driver is going to translate that particular request into the form that database can understand. And then only database can execute it in a proper manner, right? And after executing it, it retrieves the result generated by the database, right? So, and obviously the result which is generated by the database, it has to be converted back into the database, into the object. And because Java application uses the class object only, so there are various kind of methods available inside the interface by which we can manipulate with the data. Clear? And this JDBC driver takes care of interaction between the database with the application. So any changes made to the database does not affect the application. So JDBC support certain drivers, right? So there are 4 different kind of drivers are being supported by JDBC. The first one is JDBC ODBC bridge driver. Second is native API driver. Third one is network protocol driver. And fourth one is native protocol driver. So JDBC ODBC bridge driver is termed as type 1 driver. Native API driver is termed as type 2 driver. Network protocol driver termed as type 3 driver. And native protocol driver is termed as type 4 driver. So type 4 driver is the latest driver which is available, which are being used in the industry. So one by one, we will be talking about all the 4 drivers. And later on, when I'll reach to the part of creation of an application where I'll be implementing the concept of type 4 driver only. So let's start with the first driver that is called JDBC ODBC bridge driver. So as I mentioned, JDBC ODBC bridge driver is called the type 1 driver. JDBC ODBC bridge driver converts JDBC method call, which is given by this Java application, into the ODBC function call. Here, ODBC stands for Open Database Connectivity. So let us understand what basically the ODBC is, right? So for the ODBC, we can say ODBC is an open standard API to communicate with any database, right? So JDBC ODBC bridge driver enables your Java application to use any database that supports the ODBC driver. Here, since this is the type 1 driver and this is the oldest driver available for communicating any Java application to any database, right? So there was a problem initially because it is the oldest one. So your Java application was able to communicate with only those databases, which was having a support of ODBC driver. If the database was not having ODBC support, so in that situation, your Java application was unable to communicate with the database, which don't have support for the ODBC driver, right? So as we know, Java application cannot interact directly with the ODBC driver, right? Again, this is the issue. So in order to communicate your Java application to the ODBC driver, we require one bridge driver called JDBC ODBC bridge driver. So JDBC ODBC bridge driver that works as an interface, or you can say as a link between your Java application and ODBC driver. And once through the JDBC ODBC bridge driver, your request of Java application is forwarded to your ODBC driver, then ODBC driver converts your request into the database compatible statement, and then database execute that statement. Now, that time, in order to use the JDBC ODBC bridge driver, we need to have ODBC driver installed in every client computer. That is necessary. That was necessary at that point in time. So JDBC ODBC bridge driver is basically used in the standalone application, because long back it was used, and that time there was no concept of networking. So basically this type 1 driver that is called JDBC ODBC bridge driver was specifically designed for standalone kind of application. So you must be watching this particular picture which I have shared to you. In this picture, at the upper portion, we are having a Java application. That request goes to the type 1 driver. The type 1 driver forward, type 1 driver is a JDBC ODBC bridge driver. So Java application send the request to the JDBC ODBC bridge driver. In turn, it send the request to the ODBC driver. ODBC driver does the request conversion work, and then it sent back to the database. And in turn, database executes it and return back the response to the ODBC driver. And further, ODBC driver send that request, that format. They translate the request in the form of what you can say object of Java, and then it is given back to the JDBC ODBC bridge driver, and through that it goes to Java application, and Java application utilizes the data retrieved from the database server. So that's all for this particular type 1 driver. I'll be coming up with the next video where I'll be talking about the further level of drivers. Thanks for watching this particular video. Hope you must have understood this particular video. So I'll be sharing the next video very shortly.